Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet the great Melissa Ellis. She has carved out a new niche in the art world. She's a sculptural oil painter. We'll explain next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
So I'm a creative. I think I've always been good with words and pictures and images, but I cannot hold a candle to my next guest when it comes to creativity. Melissa Ellis is in the studio. She's with Melissa Ellis Art, and she is a sculptural oil painter.
Yes.
I'd never heard of that before.
Neither have I. I kind of created it.
You created it. Okay, let's start at the very beginning before we show your art. When did you know you were an artist?
As soon as I was old enough to hold a pencil, I picked up drawing and coloring, and I just kind of could never stop.
Wow. And how did it evolve from just something you were doing as a child to doing it professionally?
So I did it as a hobby for my whole life, and then I went to college and I actually studied art history at LSU, and I had to take studio classes. So I'd never painted before in my life, but I loved it and apparently talked about doing it all the time and never did. So I took sculpture, woodworking, metalsmithing. I did all kinds of other classes. And then for my 21st birthday, my amazing friends threw me a huge surprise party, and they bought me paintbrushes, canvases, an easel. And they said, "You've been talking about it. Let's see you do it."
Wow.
So I took a class the next semester and fell in love with painting, and I've been doing it ever since.
And you've been doing it professionally for 22 years. Let's go ahead and pull up her website. And as we scroll down the website, why don't you just comment on some of the images? The first thing that strikes me is the brilliant color.
I love color. I have a lot of different styles that I do, but the process is very similar in all of them. Everything, all the texture you see is 100% oil paint, and I hand sculpt that with palette knives. So I lay out all my different paints, and then I pick up with different colors, and I hand sculpt each individual piece with my palette knives and then apply it to canvas. So kind of a unique process.
Yeah, and you were telling me not only do you do residential, but you do commercial. And
Yes.
Louis Vuitton, am I allowed to say?
Yes, yes.
Is a client?
Yes, they're a client. They commissioned me to do a piece for their permanent collection in 2021. It is currently hanging in the Legacy West store in Plano, and every 5 years it will move around to a new location.
Okay, we've got a time-lapse video. We're going to go ahead and roll this. I'm going to have you narrate. What are we watching?
So I am making a starburst painting. It's one of my most popular signature styles. And I am laying out the oil paint and hand sculpting with 2 knives. And different knives create different sizes, different textures. This is sort of a medium size. I do always have my dogs, Jack and Lucy, with me in the studio. And so it is just 100% oil paint. The paint comes off the edges. And so once it hangs on a wall, it has really amazing shadows as the light changes throughout the year, throughout the day. Mm-hmm. And so it moves, it has different shadows. That particular piece is solid white, but I do all kinds. I do solid colors. I do a mix of colors, monochromatic, black, super colorful, a little bit of everything. So each one is completely unique.
And we were talking before the show, you really use kind of your gut. Like you wake up in the morning and you're feeling a certain color.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing. It just sort of comes to you. When I get in the studio and I lay out my colors and I go, ooh, I need a little more pink today, or this needs more yellow. I'm just feeling happy and joyful. Art really, creating is my favorite thing in the world to do. And it just makes me so happy. And colors make me so happy. And so you definitely get my mood in whatever piece I'm creating at the time.
And we were talking about sculptural oil painter. There's no such thing. Like, you're the only one.
That I know of.
Yeah.
I know of, yes. There are a lot of impasto oil painters. So what I do is impasto oil painting, but they're not often pre-sculpted the way that I create them.
Okay, let's talk about in every industry, there's a win, there's a W. For you, when you create a custom piece of art and your client sees it for the first time, what does that feel like?
It's an incredible feeling. I work really hard and I work very closely with my clients, which is really fun. I do in-home consultations where I come over and say, okay, here's the wall, what size, what colors, what style do you want? And then I go home and I do a palette of the colors that I've heard them say. So visually, this is what I heard you say. And then it gets approved and then I get to make it. And it's a beautiful blend of my client's vision and my own vision coming together, and then seeing it in their home is just the best feeling in the world.
Is there like an unveiling? I mean, do you show it to them before they?
No, they don't get to see it before. Well, and partly because once I start, I can't change it. If there's ever an issue, I can certainly, make a new one. I've never had that happen, but because I guarantee all my work.
Yeah.
But it's really fun getting that surprise of, here it is, finally at last.
Wow. What's your favorite memory of like unveiling this for a client, and what did he or she say?
Well, they're all just incredible. One of my really special moments was taking my piece to the Louis Vuitton store for the first time, because we did it all virtual. And so the whole team getting to see it and bringing it in, and then they ended up matching the store my pieces above the women's shoes, and they matched the entire shoe and purse collection around my painting. And
that's pretty amazing.
That was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool moment.
That's awesome. We're going to scroll down her Instagram page, and I want to make a note that you and I just saw each other over the weekend, because you are co-chair and board member of FGI's Night of Stars.
Yes.
So tell us about that honor and that event.
Well, it was incredible. It was just a couple days ago, and we got to honor legends in fashion, art, and design. And we honored Dia Kleppo-Hilfiger, Jonathan Simkai, Donald Robertson, and Martin Lawrence Bullard. And we had Tommy Hilfiger and April Hennig there as well as presenters. And we got to honor the beautiful, wonderful Victoria Snee as our honorary chair. And we do this event every year in the fall. And it is just to celebrate the amazing accomplishments of legends and icons in the creative industries. And I was asked to chair this event this year and next year, which is wonderful. And it's just so fun bringing our community together. And Dallas certainly loves high fashion and fun and raising money for students. We have a scholarship fund for students in fashion and merchandising that we raise money for.
Outstanding. Well, you're still a young artist. Where do you see all this headed?
I don't really know. It's exciting that it's very limitless. Art and creativity. I've recently gotten involved with Fashion Group International. I love fashion, and talk about creativity. It's just wearable art. And so it's fun. I've met so many incredible people in all these different creative industries, and I've really been able to partner with them and collaborate with them. And how do we, can we make a line together, and, let's do media, and let's do music, and let's do all these different things. And it's really exciting to see new doors open. And I certainly want to continue doing custom work for residential spaces and partnering with other brands and restaurants. I do hospitality work. So just want to see it continue to grow.
I love it. I can see why you're so wildly successful. In the final minute or so, I want you to look into the camera on the left, and if there's somebody who is watching this saying, I think I just found my artist, tell us about the process of working with you. What does that look like?
Yeah, so like I said, it starts with a free consultation. I can do it in-home or virtually, and really talk through what your needs are, what you're looking for, how you feel. I like to see photos of your home or your space, and really get an idea of who you are as an individual or as a business or brand. And then talk through together, what style do you want? Maybe we even come up with something new together. I do that with clients a lot, and that's always really fun. We pick the size, and then I do the color palette, it gets approved, and then I create the piece, and then we deliver it to your space and install it and have a new piece that will be with your family or business for years to come, and hopefully spread lots of joy and happiness to everyone.
Outstanding. You've been an amazing guest. We're going to have you back on again soon. We'll leave you with her website, which is melissaellisart.com. The great Melissa Ellis. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Jeff.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.